everyone, I'm Tuco and welcome back to another episode here with the Structure Showcase series. Today we will be taking a look at the Brie faction, which I have not made a video on yet, even though it just came out a year ago, but because I haven't been making any videos, I kind of missed this one. So, we are going to be looking at the very well designed Brie structures, as well as a new block that was added into the game specifically for these structures. And let's get right to it, I suppose. So this here is a Brie House. Just a normal Brie House. As you can see, it has a nice signpost for the apple door family. A very wonderful looking roof, thatch roof, and also making use of the new block, which is the dry stone block. This block is amazing. It's basically like Waddle and Daub except for stone. It is just, oh my goodness, it is fabulous, absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be using a lot of this in my builds from now on in LTR because of how wonderful it is. We even have siding for this house here, some nice windows, and some nice structure. As you can see, some indentation. The walls are not just flat pieces of stone or wood. We've got some nice supports using fence posts and some extensions with the different, I guess, wooden beams, as well as a nice overhang for the roofs, and even a bit of detail in with the roofs. As you can see, there's some variation going on here, making it look quite rugged, but very sturdy looking. And interior-wise, again, just very well done, very simple fireplace, and honestly, I think I might be using this design more in the future because of how simple it is. You know, my chimneys are furnaces or fireplaces, whatever, fire pits. They're very protruding, I guess. They protrude a lot from the walls, so they're always sticking out, kind of in the way a bit. But this gives it some nice open space. It'd be a lot more cramped if it was a bigger fire pit. But all he's got here is some iron bars and a furnace. Very simple and very straightforward and to the point. Some more structures in here, some coat hangers for added detail, a nice table and a view outside, as well as a top bunk over here with the bed, and even a few windows in the area here, which is very nice. Now on to the next structure, which is, oh, also yes, it does have two doorways in and out. But the next structure here is the Sheriff's Office, the Sheriff Brian Champions, according to that sign there. We have some nice flower pot details on the outside. Again, the roofs are absolutely fantastic on these Brie buildings. And some wonderful details with these windows. Now, with the windows, though, I would like to see maybe a bit more of an overhang here, but, I mean, that's a minor little thing that I'm complaining about. Other than that, holy cow, I mean, look at this structure we got going on with this wood and fence. I mean, just adds so much more detail instead of just having a flat wall. You know, have some variation like this. Absolutely fantastic. As you can see, a nice simple chimney too, again with that simple design, and we'll see that again in the interior here if we head on inside. So inside here we have the main, I guess, foyer, I suppose? Yeah, foyer. So in here we have the main foyer where the sheriff, of course, keeps his storage and all kinds of goodies, as well as, of course, the bed and bunks for the sheriff and probably, you know, maybe one or two deputies. And the fire pit here, which, again, absolutely fantastic. I love the simple design. We got, instead of cobblestone, which was last for the house, we now have some brick going well with the Hobbit furnace there. And, of course, barrels for all the drinking needs of the sheriff here, who's standing right here. I think you can hire units from the sheriff for Brie, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, that was quite a loud sip. But anyway, in here we also have, of course, his actual bed. You know, if that's the case, I wonder if down there was actually the prison. No, it doesn't have a door, though. Probably for the deputies, I'm guessing. Anyway, if we go up to the top here, we have the attic with a bunch of storage and a bed. I don't know whose bed that'd be. I mean, maybe they keep the prisoners up here. I don't know. But there isn't exactly a jail in this place, so I don't quite know where they'd be keeping any prisoners, which is kind of odd. But at any rate, let's head over to the next building, which is the smithy, the blacksmith shop. As we can see, it's a very well detailed and decorated area. A very nice furnace, very simple again. I like these simple designs for these furnaces. And of course, we got all kinds of wonderful gears here. The unsmeltery, we got anvils and cauldrons, of course, to quench the flaming hot iron. Even some armor stands and some details going on here. I mean, in older builds, you won't see this kind of level of detail of using, especially the birch, because the birch is, oh my goodness, it's fantastic. Well, this birch or beech? Beech, there we go. Beech trapdoors are absolutely amazing in LTR to use for siding or just added details. And they're even used here for flower pots here. Very, very well designed, and you can basically use them anywhere. They're basically like the spruce trapdoors of the LTR. And again, with the wonderful variations of the rooftops, I absolutely love this. It's not just some straight looking thing or even just some sort of pattern. It's kind of random in a bit, which you'd expect from a thatch looking roof. And again, using the dry stone to add extra detail in the buildings. And let's head on inside to see the blacksmith here, just chilling as he is. We got all kinds of wonderful details with armor and different weapons lying around here. Some nice the crafting bench, of course, of Brie, which that's a pretty neat design. And in here, I'm guessing, yep, it is the bedroom, the living quarters of the blacksmith. Now, in the next structure here, we have the tavern, of course, the tavern, the central piece of any good bustling city. And inside, well, actually, I suppose we'll talk about the exterior real quick. So the exterior is very similar to the sheriff's office in that it has that extra detail going around the outside. Now, this can also be different, a different kind of wood. It can. I believe, though, that this is the chestnut wood is what we have here. Now, this is interesting to see, though, because on the other buildings over there, especially the sheriff's office, we don't have this sort of overhang that we get on this. This is what I mean by that needs it like an overhang over the windows here. This is what I'm thinking of by a nice overhang. Now, with this, though, it doesn't have the kind of random variations that the other roofs have. It's kind of plain, to be honest, like that. We do have a much bigger chimney, though, because, I mean, you're trying to heat a massive building like that, you're going to need quite a big one. So if we head inside by Daisy Appledore, oh, what is it? The Pretty Knight is the name of this tavern. So if we head on inside, we can see the innkeeper right there, which we can trade with, of course. Man, you guys are noisy drinkers. I'm going to have to turn that down for next video. Anyway, so if we head up on upstairs, we have some nice tables actually sitting up here, and of course some nice little bedrooms. Ooh, and even a top bunk. Hey, that's pretty cool. That is pretty neat. And I'm guessing we have the same thing going on over here. Yes, we do. Very nice. Very nice structure. I love the vaulting ceilings. Absolutely wonderful. Some nice chandeliers to add some extra lighting. And of course, the furnace place right over yonder. I don't know if there's like... no, there's not. I was thinking that maybe there was like a basement kind of similar to the Hobbit's taverns. But that is not the case. It's just a freestanding building as such. Now, the next structures are some very simple structures, but we'll see more of them in the village and the hamlet for Brie, which is the well here. Very simple design, nice and easy, and of course also a lamppost. Again, very simple, but it serves its purpose well. The next structure that we're going to be looking at is the barn, which honestly is very well done. I really like this design. We have some nice cobblestone for support, and of course some fences as well, which adds, again, extra detail because this is jutting out a little bit more, and then we go a bit skinnier. It adds more detail and makes it more pleasant to the eye, I suppose. And also, this is rather interesting. I've never seen this with windows before. I've never seen it before. I've never used it myself. Basically just making it a slab, kind of like just a peek-through hole, kind of, I suppose. I've never seen that before, but it looks pretty interesting with it like that. I mean, I'd expect that it be maybe like a cobblestone perhaps, or even just a stone slab, but using the wood there, it's rather interesting. I don't quite know how I feel about it. I mean, over here it's fine because you're touching wood, so wood on wood. I mean, it looks fine. But here in the front, where it's just stone and then wood, it's rather odd, but yeah, kind of interesting. And again, with the exterior, it's very similar to the tavern and also the sheriff's office in that it has this exterior kind of, I don't even know what you'd call it, just an overhang, I suppose, is what we could describe it as. The rooftop has, again, that variation that we've been seeing in a lot of the Bree structures, except for the tavern, which is rather interesting, because all the other ones have variations like that, except for that, which is kind of odd. Anyway, if we head on inside, excuse me, if we head on inside, we will be in the midst of this beautiful barn, very nice vaulting ceilings. We have, of course, a nice farmhand here who we can, well, we can't, we can't trade with him, but we can if we had some alignment with them. Now, if we come up these ladders here, we will be in the storage area of this barn here. Some nice hay, and of course, some chests with all kinds of various different things as well. And same thing on the other side as well. And there's also a chest hiding here in the middle. I don't know how you're supposed to get there, but there's a chest right there, which is kind of weird. I mean, if this was all filled in and open, that'd make a bit more sense, but all right. I'm not going to complain. I mean, it's a very wonderful looking structure. I love the extra details in the interior too. Looking great. And now on to the next structure that we have here. This is called the Ruffians House, which is rather interesting. So this is just, I don't know, your general ruffian. I don't really know if it's supposed to be a hideout or anything, but it's just kind of a, I mean, look at this guy. He looks kind of rough. Yeah, the ruffian spy. Huh. Yeah, so this is a ruffian house. Very run down looking. Honestly, I really love the design for this. We got all kinds of vines coming down here. We got vines growing up. We got even some mossy cobblestone, which you rarely see actually in a lot of the LTR builds, which is rather interesting to see. A lot of vines, like I said, and a lot of leaves just pouring out of this place. And also, this place looks a lot more run down than the other ones. With the other ones, we had variations, of course, with the roof, but there weren't gaping holes like this one. I mean, you're gonna get a lot of rain in here. Gotta fix that up. I mean, we've even got, you know, fence posts sticking up here just to make it look even more run down and decrepit. Decrepit. That's the word. And even just, you know, this is supposed to be, you know, straight up, I imagine, but slanting and down. Anyway, if we come on inside here, it'll be very similar to the other houses that we've seen, except it's a rundown version. Is basically the best way to describe it. It is a rundown version. We got holes in the ceiling. We got cobwebs. We got moss everywhere, and holes in our rooftops, and you know it's not looking too good for this fella. Okay, just gonna be clear. It doesn't look too good for our ruffian spy. Anyway, the next structure that we have here is the stable, the Bree stables, which has a very similar looking design to the barn, except instead of it being 2 stories, it's 1, or well, I suppose it is still 2 stories, but there's no making use of the second story. The exterior is very well looking. I mean, we've got some nice open areas to, I guess, take a look at all the wonderful horses they have in there. And, of course, the roof, again, very nice variations, adding extra detail where needed. And some nice supports, which is a very, very nice to see, especially because we don't see such nice supports in the earlier structures of the LTR mod. And then interior-wise, again, as we'd expect, it's very similar to the barn in this nice structured-looking thing. I mean, this thing looks like it'd support itself. With all the nice beams crisscrossing each other, it looks very well made. You know, very sturdy. We also have a rolling pin here, which I don't know, is rather interesting. I mean, it's not a bakery, but okay. We also have some hay, of course, for the horses. Now, with the next structure here, this is one that you won't just find lying out, you know, any which where. This is the Bree Garden. A very simple design. You just come on in here. It's got a nice little, it's not really a well, or it's not really a fountain. It's just kind of a water feature, I'd say, yeah. Some poppies and dandelions, and what's most notable, though, about this structure is it's nice variation with its bush fence, or I suppose hedges is a better word, hedges. And with the next structure here, I was very curious to find this one. So this is a Brie Hobbit Burrow. So, Hobbits just living in Brie, and this is their house. Honestly, I'd love to see this in the Shire. Like, I love this level of design. I mean, look at this. You got trellises just coming out over here, all kinds of plants lying everywhere. That's a pretty plant. We got all kinds of bushes just growing everywhere, grass, and just some very nice details on the exterior here. And with the interior, it is very different from the other Hobbit homes. It's not as spacious. It's very small. I mean, it is just a burrow, as it says. It's not a full house. It's just tiny little burrow. We've got a wonderful furnace here. I like this design. We got, of course, the cobblestone walls going up as a nice chimney. We've got, of course, some very nice chests and beds. Very simple, but honestly, I really like the design. We've got, of course, thatch on the floor and some nice carpet, too, to add the extra design for the floor. And a coat rack, of course. Gotta have your coat racks. And with the next structure here, this is the marketplace. Or, one of the stalls. So all stalls are going to look very similar to this. However, I just chose to do the baker for this one because, I didn't want to do them all. Because there's a lot. There are a lot of merchants that Brie has. And you'll find them in their various villages and stuff. And remember earlier how I was saying I really like the beach trap doors as they make for some absolutely wonderful details and siding without taking up too much space. This is one of the cases where you can use that very well. As you can see, it doesn't take up much space at all. I mean, just what? 3 pixels? I mean, it takes up 3 pixels, and it's right there. And it adds just that extra bit of detail sticking out. It's not just a flat plane. It's got some 3D shapes to it, I suppose. And it looks absolutely fantastic. As you can see, we got all kinds of pastries here ready for the tasting. And over here we have the marketplace. This is what you will see in villages for Brie, and where you are going to find these stalls. As you can see, again with the beach trap doors, absolutely wonderful. Love the designs, very nice, very nice stalls, especially with carpet and whatnot, or wool, I suppose, not carpet. And even the ground is well detailed with gravel and path blocks and, of course, dirt and all kinds of wonderful stuff. We even got a nice tree in the middle, too, with all kinds of goodies placed around it, all kinds of chests and barrels, all ready for the taking, I suppose. Now, over here, we just have a simple wooden gate. This will go with the hamlets for Brie as just a simple defense. And then over here, we have the Gatehouse, which this will go with their villages. It'll have a signpost for the name of the city or village, and of course a very simple palisade here. And I believe this works. Yeah, a nice lever to open and close the door. And this is very similar to how it was in the movies, with a little gate where you can kind of open it up and just check to see who's outside through this nice portcullis, wooden portcullis there. And, of course, in the Gatehouse, if we're allowed inside, if you don't mind me, we have just the bare necessities to live here. I mean, you're just working a shift here. A bed, nice table to eat your rations and such, and a chest to hold any kind of, I guess, things you may need. And also, is there a furnace in there? I didn't see it. There must be, because there's a chimney. No, there's not. Well, that's interesting. Huh. Well, that much just might be a small mistake that they forgot to put a furnace that goes with the chimney, because that's just jutting up there for no apparent reason. Very interesting. Anyway, so now we get to the big, I guess you'd call conglomerates of buildings of Brie. Now, my one complaint with all of this, I mean, it's all quite epic, absolutely wonderful detail. My only complaint is that everything's too spread out with these hamlets and villages, especially the villages. I'll show you in just a moment. So this is a hamlet. I place this here, and as you can see, some wide open space just out there. I mean, it might look better in the wild. You got some trees in there, and some rolling hills perhaps here and there. But in this, we'll just have some simple houses, some market stalls, and a well in between, and maybe even a hobbit burrow if we're lucky. Now, with this here, so because the village was so big, I went all the way out and placed it, and it still kind of collided with the hamlet. So the hamlet here is actually supposed to, you know, end its circle and then have that little gate that we showed you, or that I showed you over there. But instead, we have this massive entrance to the village, which is massive. Let me just go through here. I'm not going to look at everything, but let me just show you just a bit of it. We got proper streets here. I mean, you thought Gondor had some big cities. Bree's got the biggest now. I mean, just look at this. We got houses lining every street. We got all kinds of gardens and marketplaces. We got sheriffs and the tavern, of course, and even over here, the hobbits have their own little area. I mean, that's how big this place is. Hobbits have their own little area for their burrows. That's how crazy this is, in like a nice zigzag pattern. But this is what I mean by there's too much open space. Look at this. I could build a whole entire castle right in this little area here. I could. That's how big these areas of emptiness are. I mean, I like the size of it. Don't get me wrong. I love the size of these villages. They're huge. I mean, the villages should be big, you know, for the most part. Especially with Bree, you know. I mean, if this is literally Bree, it should be massive, right? But my main issue is just all the wide open space. That's my one complaint about these villages. Other than that, I absolutely love them. Absolutely fantastic. I haven't even come across these in the mod yet. I'm still looking for them, but hopefully I can find them soon. And of course, we also have the barns and the stables along very close to the entrance, which makes sense. You know, you want a place to keep your horse and whatnot. And there should be also some smithy. Yeah, there's some smithies along the road there. Everything's pretty much, for the most part, symmetrical. At least from this end to that end over there. For the most part, it's symmetrical. Anyway, I think that'll do it for the Bree structures. I believe that's everything. I don't think I left anything out. I don't think so. Well, anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Bree is definitely an absolutely awesome faction. It has absolutely amazing structures. I hope to see more structures like this, especially in the new, I guess, LTR Renewed mod that's coming out. Well, that is currently coming out for, I believe it's 1.16 Mevins has got it for. But anyway, I hope to see more of these epic structures in there, because I can't wait. I hope he updates some of the old ones too for the new mod. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to hit a like. Leave a like there. And as always, I'm Tuco. God bless, and I'll see you guys next time.